one sense, the truth was the truth. But first, it was law. Imagine graduating at the top of your class, women with ambition and go to apply for jobs, only to be told again and again, sorry, why do you want to work? Experience, settle down. That was the reality in the 1990s. So loyalty was not the intention of that. Now let's say, who's loyalty? She said that equality was not just it was a fighting. No, over 2 years ago. So why are women all still fighting it now? My name is Gurdwara. I want equality for men and women as well. I chose this because gender inequality is not just past. It is still here, dipping into our day-to-day lives. I've heard stories of fathers harming their own daughters. How could any father do that? But that is not where we are. Women earn about 77 cents every dollar earned on earth. And this is just in North America. As of 2025, women hold only about 30% of seats in national parliaments worldwide, and less than 10% positions. Those are not just numbers on a paper. This is our reality. A reality that is half of society. How can any society ever be successful when nearly half of us are being held back because they never got to high school? In some places in the Middle East and North Africa, females cannot even home without express permission from a male guardian. In South Sudan, females cannot even finish primary school. Even today, menstruation is treated like a taboo. In some cultures, women cannot pray and are excluded from daily activities. This silence does not just shame women, this holds them back. Inequality should make us angry. It should anger us. It is unfair, it is unjust, and it is unnecessary. Issue. It is a human issue. Let's stand together and make it real. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Gurdwara. That was wonderful. You did really good. And you spoke on such an important topic, gender equality, something that is not spoken about and something that is maybe sometimes more taboo. We don't talk about these issues. I think one statistic that Gurdwara shared there, that 10% of Fortune 500 companies, these are the most powerful, most lucrative, most productive, best companies in the world. Only 10% are run by women. So I think that's something that we can all think about and find ways to address in our own life. You did really great, and Gurdwara, I can say, has made so much progress from the beginning too. You've always been so engaged and active in the discussions, and we've seen that passion come to action with that speech. So great work there. Next, we have Manmeet Singh speaking about our next topic. So we'll have Manmeet come to the stage and give his speech here.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Manmeet, and today I want to talk about something I care about deeply, the crisis in Israel and Palestine. Moreover, I want to talk about how each of us has the power to be a change maker, to act, to raise our voices, and to push for justice, even when things feel overwhelming. Let me start with what is happening now. In Gaza, the death toll has hit over 65,000 people since the war has begun in October 2023, according to the health authorities there. Many of those civilians who are killed are women, children, and elderly people. One heartbreaking example is the bombing of the Fahmi al-Jarjava school in Gaza City back in May 2025. This school had become a shelter for many people. When the bomb struck, 36 people were killed, including 18 children. Another horrible event was the Nasser Hospital in Khanis Yunis. In August 2025, a double strike on that hospital killed 22 people, including journalists and medical staff. These are places where people seek safety, healing, and help. Also, over 2,900 people trying to reach aid in Gaza have reportedly been killed in attacks while accessing distribution sites. This is not just a war between armies now, but rather it is a struggle over survival and over who gets food, medicine, and care. These facts are painful. They show the scale of suffering, especially on people who did not choose the situation, like the civilians. Men, women, children, elderly people. They didn't want to be in the war, but they are. They're being killed, they're part of it, and they don't have any choice or have any say in it. So why do I care? Because I see this as a call to be a change maker. A change maker is someone who does not just accept things just as they are. A change maker sees injustice and asks, what can I do? When it doesn't always mean going to war or raising power, but it could mean pushing for advocacy groups, raising awareness, educating others, speaking out, pushing for accountability, or pushing for peace. I believe that caring about Israel and Palestine is caring about human dignity. When I read that 83% of the deaths in Gaza are civilians, like ordinary men, women, and children like us, I feel that people need to be educated about this. They need to stop, and more people need to follow and support advocacy groups so that they can stop the war in Israel and Palestine. When I also hear that 361 Palestinians have died from malnutrition, including 130 children, I see, just as September 2025, because aid is blocked or distributed, it shows me how cruel the world can really be. We might not be able to end the war overnight, but we can refuse to be bystanders. We can refuse to accept that so many suffer without a voice. We can push for a future where children are raised without the constant fear of a bombing alert, where hospitals are safe and where people can live in dignity. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Manmeet Singh, for that speech. That was very powerful. Such an important issue. We hear about this in the news, we watch about it, but the statistics that you gave, Manmeet, and the way that you deliver that, the passion was very clear. And you, again, specifically on the things that we worked on, you were looking at the whole audience, you were pausing, and you had a really strong tone for emphasis. So that was really great. Thank you for your intention and efforts throughout the entire course, Manmeet. Next, we have Anhad Kaur giving the next speech, and it'll be about a really important topic. Again, we're really happy that we're having everyone engaged today, so thank you.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I asked Google, how are lawyers change makers in this world? And its answer was bland, at best. I searched it up hoping for ideas to write the speech, but instead what I got was a boring paragraph from the AI overview. Here's what it said. Lawyers act as change makers by leading legal and social reform, challenging outdated norms, and designing innovative legal structures, and advocating for marginalized groups to create a more just and equitable society. Do I think this is true? Absolutely. Do I think that's an accurate or well-summarized answer? I really don't. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anhad Kaur, and today I'm hoping to clearly explain why lawyers are a big part of huge changes happening in this world, and why I would like to be a lawyer in the future. First of all, what is a lawyer? A lawyer is a person who is qualified to offer legal advice, draft legal documents, and/or represent individuals in legal matters. That being said, let me tell you why I think lawyers are a huge part of change happening in our society. We all know that in some countries, laws are insane. From silly laws like chewing gum being illegal in Singapore. I didn't make that up. You can search it up. I got it from a website called Far and Wide. To really serious ones like the one-child policy in China.
Lawyers are the ones that fight for the people facing this kind of injustice, changing the world one case at a time. At the start, I said I was going to explain to you what a lawyer is, how they're change makers, and why I want to be a lawyer. It all started when I was 8, and my parents could never get me to read. It was impossible. Fast forward to my 9th birthday, my uncle gifted me novels, unaware that I hated reading. After days of pushing me to read them, my mom finally achieved victory. I read the stupid books. Once I started, I just couldn't stop. That day, that week, that month, that year, and 3 years later, here I am, and I love reading more each day. It was so peaceful until I researched more about the authors, how many troubles they had to go through just to get their books published. Even the most famous ones, like J.K. Rowling, Stephen King, and Dr. Seuss, they had their books rejected at least 20 times before getting them published, and that too for the most invalid reasons. It made no sense to me. That got me thinking, what other kind of injustice is this world facing? The people around me, my family, my friends. I started reading articles, reading newspapers, and watching interviews, and realized this world was way more messed up than the sunshine and rainbows environment I was raised in. No one had told me. I had to discover this by myself. Why weren't there more resources? Lawyers' work definitely goes unnoticed, so I'm going to be telling you about some lawyers who changed history. And hopefully, 10 or 15 years later, I have even a quarter of the determination that they did. Thurgood Marshall, who argued against racial segregation in public schools. His argument in Supreme Court was so persuasive that the Supreme Court decided to end legal segregation in all public schools. His thought process was that they were just kids. When the white kids got to have new and nice markers, the colored kids just had to have the leftovers. The difference, this is what we all probably thought, but the difference between us and him is that he decided to actually do something about it. He's a huge inspiration to everyone across the world. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who fought for women's rights before becoming a U.S. Supreme Court Justice. Most of you probably know her, but I don't have to say that she was absolutely incredible. Murray Sinclair, who also is, by the way, from the prairies. He was a lawyer and a judge who led the Truth and Reconciliation Commission and gave the survivors of residential schools a voice. These incredible people are just a few examples of lawyers changing the world. We've talked about everything but what I was actually going to talk about. I've told you how I started exploring law and injustice, but what will I do once I actually become a lawyer? First of all, I will pursue being a human rights lawyer. I understand I may not get cases or be able to independently work on them, but my real interest is in my colleagues. What kind of cases they fight, they win, they lose. Was the judge biased? Was there anything else that shouldn't be there? You know, get the inside gossip. There's a more than likely chance that there are some dirty judges, doctors who work for someone they really shouldn't be working for, or dirty cops. I want to spread awareness about this kind of injustice since we trust these people with our lives. I want to be someone 8-year-old me would have loved to talk to. I want to spread awareness, and I could do that by starting a podcast, writing a blog, or just talking to my colleagues or other lawyers or other doctors or cops or even kids. I know me myself would have loved to talk to someone like me. For me, a lawyer is someone who quietly changes the world without asking for any appreciation. So, I want to be someone who my 8-year-old self can look at and proudly say, my name is Anhat Kaur and I'm going to be a change maker. Thank you.
Wonderful. That was great, Anha. That was really powerful, and it was such an important issue. You talked about the legal system, being a lawyer, and I think Anha had a really powerful, actually, narrative arc, something we've talked about in the class, a really captivating hook in the beginning, and then she connected that hook at the end. It brought everything together. You gave some really great examples historically of lawyers that have challenged racial segregation, lawyers that have advocated for gender equality. So such important issues, and you had great eye contact, engaging with everyone the whole time. Really great work, Anha, and thank you for your engagement throughout the course as well. Next up, we have Urveen Kaur, who will be giving the next speech and building off this really great momentum. Thank you, everyone, and Urveen, the stage is yours.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Hey, quick question. Have you ever thought about what happens when you get a paper cut? No? Well, let me tell you. It's a tiny, annoying thing that makes you realize how much you want someone with skill and a little bit of magic to fix it. Now, imagine the bigger stuff. Real surgeries that actually help save lives. Hi, my name is Urveen Kaur. I'm 13 years old, and I know I'm still young to be figuring out what my career is, but I already know what I want to be. I want to be a surgeon. Not just any surgeon, but a surgeon who changes the world. Not by having on my name on big posters, articles, or giving speeches and taking classes. No, I don't want to do that. I want to do it with my own hands on the operating table, through surgery and through medicine, because I believe that change doesn't always have to be big and loud. It can also be small. It can start from a hospital, where one single decision can change someone's entire life. That's my dream, and I'm determined to make it real. One day, I want to create a new kind of method for doing surgery, a kind that doesn't even exist yet, one that no one has ever used before, so it's safer, faster, and easier for people to recover from. I want to discover new ways to change impossible into possible, not by talking about it, but actually showing what's possible with knowledge and care. My goal is to observe and improvise how surgeries are done so far, so they're safer, faster, and easier for people to recover from. And I know that establishing these methods is going to take a lot of time, preparation, and studying, but from my perspective, the lives that are suffering right now are way more important than my efforts. Let me tell you a real-life incident that's really close to my heart, and it inspired me to choose this profession. My uncle underwent a knee surgery. The surgeons faced a problem where his ligaments could not be separated from his tendons. Though they did figure it out, but it's been 3 years and he's still not fully recovered. This motivated me to think that how could I be a help to others who are undergoing heart surgeries? So I also want to be the surgeon who takes the most hardest cases, because some doctors get startled when they see serious cases, worrying that something might go wrong. I want to be the one who takes the most difficult cases, like separating conjoined twins, where 2 lives depend on getting everything right. I want to be the surgeon who's not afraid to take new steps, who works on the most precise surgeries where one mistake can cost a life. And I want to be the one who gives hope to others when they say that this can't be done. Additionally, I hope that I find cures to diseases people live with today. Finding a way to stop cancer from coming back to one's body again, performing a surgical treatment that could end a condition forever so people don't have to live on medications. That's what I want to achieve. And I know this sounds really big and impossible, but so did flying until someone built a plane. And finally, I want to go to places where healthcare systems are not up to par. According to expatriatehealthcare.com, countries like Syria, Venezuela, Bangladesh, and Iraq have the worst healthcare systems. I want to travel there and provide as much as I can, whether that means providing clean tools, better hygiene, advanced technologies, or even essential medications. I want everyone to get the best treatment possible.
Overall, change doesn't always have to be big. It can also be small. And I want my change to be through medicine, even if that means new methods for safer surgeries, taking up the hardest cases, finding cures to things we aren't able to find yet, or even visiting different places. I will do all of that just to save lives, because every individual deserves the best treatment possible. Thank you.
Wow, amazing. Thank you so much, Irvine. That was so great. And your passion really came through speaking about such an important topic. This is really what this is all about, change making. And I think you spoke so well about your path to becoming a change maker. And you talked about the qualities you want to have as a change maker. You want to be detail oriented. You want to be innovative. And your public speaking, you were really engaging with the audience, your tone, and you were emphasizing different points at different parts of your speech too. That was really awesome. So great work, Irvine. Thank you for all your efforts in the course. You've been doing amazing. Great. Okay, we have 4 final youth that are be presenting now. And so next up we have Hasratvir, who will be giving the next speech. So let's stay engaged. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience and your interest. And our youth are doing so well. Great. Hasratvir, the stage is yours.
When we break a bone, we go to the doctor. But when our mind is in pain, we let it stay there and torture us. Why is that? Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Hasratvir Singh, and I will be talking about the issues of mental health. Our mental health affects everything from our relationships, sports, academics, and day-to-day interactions. Right now, 300 million people live with anxiety disorders. That is 9 times the population of Canada. Another study by the World Health Organization states that 1 billion people live with mental disorders. The WHO also states that people with severe mental health disorders die 10 to 20 years earlier. Even though 1/8 of the world suffers, half never attempt to get help. In Canada, that number rises to 60%. The truth is, people stay silent because of stigma. Stigma is the fear of being judged, labeled, or treated differently. A survey by the Mental Health Commission of Canada states that 40% of people felt that they were being judged in a healthcare setting when receiving care. You could have acquired it from your parents, religion, culture, and other factors of your life. It is so common that you don't notice its effects on you. The silence is dangerous. It stops people from getting help when they need it and makes the struggle harder that they're already facing. It also shows that stigma can happen in any place, like the places you were supposed to feel safe. Because of stigma and other reasons, it is hard to talk about mental health. It takes courage to seek help, but that can be made easier by doing small actions. Anyone can do these small actions. Anyone can help by standing up to stigmatizers. You can remind people that they aren't alone by helping with tasks such as appointments, chores, or anything they need. I can help those in need by listening without judging. We can erase the hate and stigma by making people feel welcome and giving a safe space to talk. Even small actions like those add up if we all contribute. So as we keep our bodies fit by exercising, we need to keep our mind healthy, whether that is talking or socializing, self-care like meditation and yoga, or getting professional help. As the saying goes, there's no health without mental health. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Hasratveer. That's such an important topic, and you did very well there. You talked about stigma and mental health. I think something that's very important within our community as well. So how do we address that? Hasratveer, you gave some really great examples. You talked about talking to people, being open, and the importance of having this. And the statistics that you gave really back up your point. That was really strong. The idea of health, and health as well, really. That's the most important thing. And the same way that we exercise our bodies, we need to do that for our minds. You brought that hook in the beginning all the way back at the end, and that was really engaging as well. So really great work, listening without judging. I think that was really important as a point as well. And you did a really good job engaging with the audience. So thank you, Hasratveer, again, for showing up so consistently and being engaged. Really great to have you as a part of the program as well. So we'll go to our next speaker now. Yashraj Singh will be speaking on his next topic. The stage is yours.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Poverty, the state or condition in which an individual lacks the financial resources and essentials for a basic standard living. An estimate from the World Bank says that 808 million people live in poverty, and that is 1 in 10 people who are every day stressed about where they're going to sleep, if they're going to eat a meal, and if they will survive. I am Yashraj Singh Gurdwara, and I'm here today to address the issue of poverty and how we as a community can help the people in need. Firstly, I'd like to explain to all you what people in poverty experience on a day-to-day basis. A person who has the maximum income you can have while still being in poverty is $6.85 a day estimate, while a person who is considered to be in extreme poverty has an average income of less than $2.15 a day. Think about that. Even a singular chocolate bar costs $3 nowadays, meaning a person living in extreme poverty wouldn't be able to purchase one. With this measly wage, most people have to choose every night if they want to eat a meal or have a shower. Not only do these people not have access to basic essentials to live, but they can't get an education or job easily because schools and businesses do not want people of a lower class to degrade their image. All of this stuff leads to massive amounts of stress. Stressing all the time leads impoverished individuals to become sick, not be able to go to work, then not to be able to purchase medicine, and ultimately the stress leads to their death. This doesn't only happen to a few individuals. According to the Sudanese American Physicians Association, it is thought that 9 million people die from poverty or hunger-related causes. Think about that. There are people out there who can't even eat a singular snack while we have 3 meals a day. Now, I'm not saying that people should have 3 meals a day, and should start eating less. But I'm trying to say, to make a point to the people that can afford to give out that to the society that is not so fortunate, they should try to definitely give as much money as they can possibly spare. This statement will guide me into my next point on why we as a community should donate to the needy and how it will benefit the world. Now you'll be wondering why I said I should give a reasoning on why we should give to the impoverished. In your head, you're most likely saying, well, it's just good to give to the poor, but I hate to break it to you. In every single human, there's that one section in the mind which is greed, and it says, how will I benefit from this, and what will I gain? And that greed is what I will fulfill with these next few words. Firstly, in Canada, if you donate a certain sum of money, your total taxes of that year will be less than, say, if you didn't. This allows you to do good while being smart with your money. It will feel like someone gave back to you because you won't have to give a lot of your hard work money away. In addition to that, people as a whole will think higher of you as a leader, trustworthy, compassionate human being. You will also develop new networks, connections, and strong ties that can benefit you. Hence, experiencing all of this, you yourself will become, without a doubt, happier. The National Institute of Health has reported that various studies show that the helper's high is a very real feeling. Helper's high is the boost of self-esteem when a person does a generous, selfless act to someone else. Good self-esteem means to lower your stress levels and reduce the amount of attention you focus on your problems. You not only stop letting yourself letting your anxiety get in your way, but you start seeing yourself as a human being who's achieved something, made a difference, and a role model for others. And an example of this person who knew these motives was Guru Nanak Dev Ji. Guru Nanak Dev Ji was told to start a business with money that his father gave to him, but instead he bought food and fed 20 hungry men. Though Guru Nanak Dev Ji's dad was very angry with him at the time, Guru Nanak Dev Ji was very happy and with the good thing he did. Guru Nanak Dev Ji also gave us the teachings of Sarbat Tapala, which means may everyone prosper and live a wonderful life. But people in poverty can't prosper, which is why we need to give back. To give back to other people, you give to yourself. Now you're aware of the problem of poverty and how you can fix it. I would love to tell you all why I'm standing here and telling all you about this. I care about this issue because I feel that the more people will become happier, the more we as a society will develop and achieve greater heights than ever. The happier we become, the less drugs will be used. The happier we become, the less violence there will be committed. The happier we become, the less our self-esteem will be stunted. I just want us to prove and evolve and think that we should start with the big things first and work our way till there will be nothing to hinder us from a strong, healthy, and intelligent world. We will overcome this problem, but in order to do that, we have to work as a team to win the big game. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Wonderful. Such an important topic. Thank you so much, Yashraj Singh. You did really great there. And you actually brought up some very relevant examples, thinking about Guru Nanak Dev Ji and that example. And I think you raised a really good point. Guru Nanak Dev Ji's, his dad was angry with him when he gave the money away. So actually, when we engage in Sarbat Tapala, when we serve humanity, how do we do that in a way that actually is about the justice, not just what other people think? And I think you raised really good points there. Your topic was really interesting, and you did a good job engaging with the audience and pausing, and even when you made a couple of slip-ups in your words, you kept going. And like we said in the beginning, that's the most important thing when you're doing public speaking. You keep going and you portray with confidence, and that was really wonderful. So thank you, Yashraj, for your efforts throughout the course. You've come so consistently, and you've been very engaged throughout the entire time, so thank you for that. Next up, we have Gurman Kaur. Gurman is going to be speaking about her next topic, and it'll be really engaging. The stage is yours, and we're really excited. Awesome.
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Have you ever noticed how in schools, boys are often pushed towards sports while girls are expected to be better at art, writing, or even just being well-behaved? When a boy enjoys drawing, reading, or writing, he might not get the same support. Sometimes he's even teased for it. And when a girl shows interest in technology or sports, people might discourage her, saying, that is not for girls. These little things might not seem like a big deal, but they actually show us something really important. Gender equality in schools still isn't where it should be. Hello everyone, my name is Gurman Kaur, and today I want to talk about gender equality in schools, why it matters, the problems we see every day, why change is so important, and how we can bring visible change. School isn't just a place to learn math or history. It's where we build confidence, discover our talents, and figure out who we want to be. If boys and girls aren't treated equally, here it can affect the way they see themselves for the rest of their lives. Let me paint a picture for you. When girls keep hearing that sports are for boys, they may give up on dreams of becoming athletes, coaches, or even Olympians. When boys hear that reading, art, or even drama is for girls, they might hide their creativity instead of growing into amazing writers, poets, or even actors.
When technology is treated like a boys-only field, girls can lose confidence in becoming programmers, game designers, or even software engineers. And when leadership roles in classes or school clubs are assumed to be for boys, boys might feel pressured to lead even when they don't want to, while girls might hold back even if they're natural born leaders. You see, inequality works both ways. It doesn't just hold girls back, it holds boys back too. True equality means giving every student the freedom to explore their passion without fear of judgment. It means encouraging the girl who loves soccer just as much as the boy who loves painting. It means supporting students not based on their stereotypes, but based on who they are and what they love. It means valuing each student for their abilities, not for whether they're a boy or a girl. If we don't fix this, we risk losing the potential of so many brilliant people. But if we do, schools can become places where talent has no gender, only opportunities. So let's create classrooms where boys can write poetry without being teased and girls can build robots without being doubted. Let's create schools where every student feels proud of their passions, whatever they may be. So the question arises, how can schools make this possible? First of all, schools should make sure that boys and girls are given equal opportunities in every area of learning and growth, whether it is sports, art, science, or even academics. No student should feel ever left out just because of their gender. Every child should be encouraged to follow their passion and be supported equally in their journey. Secondly, when it comes to leadership positions, schools should select students based on their skills, confidence, and dedication, not on whether they're a boy or a girl. True leadership is about responsibility and ability, not gender, and students should see that fairness reflected in their classrooms. Another important step is through the classroom lessons themselves. Schools can include discussion activities where examples in the community that change harmful stereotypes. For example, showing stories of women excelling in science or men succeeding in fields like nursing or art helps break the idea that some careers only belong to one gender. And finally, perhaps the most powerful change comes from the culture within the school. Teacher and students together must learn to respect, support, and uplift each other. When kindness and respect becomes a habit, discrimination has no space to grow. Because equality in school isn't just about grades. It's about making sure every student feels free to dream, free to try, and free to be exactly who they are and who they want to be. When schools practice gender equality, they do more than just teach lessons. They shape the leaders and innovators of tomorrow. A girl who is encouraged to excel in science may grow up to to invent solutions that change the world. A boy who is supported in creative arts may grow up to inspire others through music, writing, or design. By treating all students fairly and valuing their unique talents, schools create a future where everyone's abilities are recognized, nurtured, and celebrated. Thank you.
Great work, Gurman. That was awesome. I think you talked about such an important issue and gave a unique angle to it, talking about school specifically. You did a really good job of that. And I think, Gurman, you practiced so much, and it's so clear that you knew what you were talking about, the practice. And just over the past 4 weeks, I know even in week 4, when we introduced the idea, Gurman had an idea in mind, and you've been practicing that. That was really wonderful. You also did a really good job sharing a vision for a future. So sometimes when we're speaking about topics, we can discuss what the issue is. You also talked about a better vision for the future where the individuality of every child is celebrated, and we can support children of all genders in expressing like who they are and learning in school based on that. So that was really powerful. That individuality point, that vision for the future, and your use of transition words to go from one point to the next. That's something we talked about in class, and that was really powerful as well. So great work, Gurman. Thank you for your effort. efforts in the course for all this time, and thank you for being here today. Last but not least, we have our final speech of today for our final youth that's present today. Man Arpit Singh, if you can come to the stage, we'll be having our final one, and then we'll be moving on to some presentation of certificates and special prizes for all the youth that have been attending. So Man Arpit, the stage is yours.
Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Chased by criticism, hunted by arrogance, and devoured by skepticism, here we are facing today's struggles without any motivation whatsoever. Controlled by our choices, you could have stayed home, glued to your screens, stuffing yourself with unhealthy meals, but your choice compelled you to come here and listen to these speeches. These choices allow us to wake up every day striving for the remarkable success in our lives and allow us to maintain our balance on the great balance rope of hope and happiness. But keeping our balance and hope intact is key to finishing that balance rope. You may ask, how do I keep my choices uplifting, and how do I feel balanced on that balance rope? Optimism. During this speech, I will gladly tell a tale of how optimism guided me through my trying times. On my way to come here in Canada, the impact of the environment and its effects on you, and my ancestors' use of optimism and its influence on me. Let us start with my early exposure to optimism when I stepped onto the land of Canada for the first time. This sudden change in my environment abruptly shifted my point of view of the world. On one side, there was India, which taught me that devotion and spirituality is the keys to success. But on the other side, Canada teaches me that financial success and materialism is the biggest achievement one could achieve. But which one is better? Which one will teach me the right of life? And which one is the correct option? These were the questions left in my mind, and perhaps they would have dwelled in my mind forever if I did not partake into thinking about life optimistically at that point. And look where your well-known Man Arpit Singh is now. That's me, by the way. Now that I look back, if I did not partake into thinking about life optimistically at that point, I would have not made the choice to think about life positively. I could be an average introvert who thought about life as a curse. Which brings me on my second point. Do you not feel like your peers, family members, and the environment around you is immeasurably negative? Instead of helping you out in tough times, your so-called friends start avoiding you and only care about for you on their own good. Everyone's around you in good times, but struggling times feel like you're in a present in a wasteland in a world war. This unfortunate experience is associated with everyone in their lifetime, but acting pessimistically during this time will cause a big downfall among your attitude. This causes a big downfall among people since they can start losing hope. But if people have an important outlook on life, then it is escapable. But you need to know the true meaning of optimism. When everyone has backed away from supporting you, when people resist even facing you, when all doors are slammed shut in your face, your spirit is nowhere near low. Your spirit stays intact, and you continue to pursue your goal, not to prove others wrong, but to prove yourself right. That is the right meaning of optimism. And if you apply optimism in your life, not only will your determination increase, but your lineage will have a high chance of being optimists. Speaking of lineages, a significant contribution to my choice of applying optimism in my life came from my lineage of spiritual warriors. In my religion, as you guys know, in our religion, optimism is referred to as Chahdi Kala, and it's defined as rising energy and having a positive and optimistic outlook on life. As you guys know, at a very young age, Guru Gobind Singh Ji sent his father to martyrdom to save another religion. He had to live in a city surrounded by enemy military. He was separated from his family in a thunderstorm. He saw his two older sons attain martyrdom in the battlefield right in front of his eyes. Got notified much later that his mother and two younger sons had also attained martyrdom and was lost in a forest with only a few Sikhs with him after the battle. If you or me were present in his position, we would have crumbled and complained to God for such a terrible life. But on the contrary, Guru Sahib Ji stayed intact, did not shed a single tear, and sang such amazing words. Mitra pyare nu hal murida da kehna. If my Guru could endure such pain and still believe that God was only testing his love and positive personality and that everything was for the better, then what problems do you, me, or anyone have that surpass the pain of separation? My Guru passed the test, and unfortunately, we're not doing our best. But the chance still remains, and I have my whole life to believe that God is forcing this pain and struggle to test my devotion and have an optimistic personality. Taking everything into consideration, optimism to me is a quality that changes your point of view of your life, as it certainly did for me. Optimism is more than just thinking reassuringly, but to feel reassuring. Throughout my life, I have continually experienced ascensions and downfalls, but I have taken lessons from each experience and will continue to do so, and so should you. Frankly, it is not an overnight task to acquire optimism, but to have such quality in your life is immeasurable. Now, may I conclude my speech. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
Wow, all 10 were, I think 10 presented today. All were so amazing. Manarpith, you did a really wonderful job there. Talked about such an important topic, especially during these times. There's so many issues that everyone else has talked about. Spoke about optimism and the Sikh lens of Chardi Kala. What does that mean? You gave some really great historical examples, and your passion was so clear as you were presenting. You also had good body language that I noticed when you were presenting, and I know that's something that you came up with a while ago, this speech, so I'm glad you were able to put it together. Thank you for engaging in the classes and showing up so consistently. We're really great to have you in the class, and really the topics that you were talking about, not just thinking about this optimism, but actually feeling it. How do you live your life in this way? And I think really, if you've noticed with all of these speeches, all of these topics, they all talked about this idea of change making, making the world a better place. And that's what, through confidence, through communication skills, and through community, we can all do together. So that's really the other really amazing part of this program. We built a community, and the community will continue. We have a WhatsApp group. We'll stay engaged. We'll continue to talk to each other. And that's a really exciting part that I look forward to. So once again, thank you for all of the students for participating and sharing. I think I'll pass it over now. We'll do the presentation of some certificates and awards for everyone who took part in the program.
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਸੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਦੱਸਣ ਲਈ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਇੰਨੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਈਡੀਆਜ਼ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸੋਚ ਹੈਗੀ ਉਹ ਇੰਨੀ ਸੋਹਣੀ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੈਂਟ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੋ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀਆਂ ਕਲਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖਣ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੌਮ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦਾ ਨਾਂ ਉੱਚਾ ਰੱਖਣ ਸੋ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਅੱਗੇ ਇਹੀ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜ੍ਹਾ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ਸ ਦਾਂਗੇ ਪਰ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਥੈਂਕਸ ਅ lot to Abhay. He did a wonderful job of engaging our youth on such an important topic for owning their public leadership skills and at the same time the change making the process ਹੈਗਾ ਆਪਣੀ community 'ਚ ਆਪਣੀ society 'ਚ ਉਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਲਾਂਟ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ ਸੋ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ Abhay ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਓ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਓ
Thank you. Thank you.
बोले सो निहाल
थोड़ा देना नहीं दे सकते
सो निहाल
सत श्री अकाल
I'll take the rest.
Sure.
So you want to just get
ਸਾਰੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਅਭੈ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਗਿਫਟ ਦਿੱਤਾ
Yeah, okay. So, Gurdwara God for your certificate, and if you want to come up for a picture. So we'll invite everyone one by one to come up for a picture and for the certificate. Then we'll have everyone come for a group photo. So Gurdwara God.
Manmeet. हाँ आज मेरे नाल खड़े हो जाओ ओके आ जाओ चलो मेहताब सिंह वेरी गुड जॉब मेहताब सिंह
Good job. You did great.
बोले सोने हाथ Hasrat Veer Singh. Hasrat Veer Singh.
बोले सोनिया
Gurmankar.
Bole Sonehal. Mandarpit Singh. Urveen Kaur.
What is this for? What is this for? This for pickling your nose?
No.
Or is it for pickling your eyes?
Bole Sonehal.
Anhat Kaur.
Is it for pickling your eyes? Is it for pickling your ears?
Bole Sonehal. Manmeet Singh, not this one.
Four.
I thought I did a good job. We did together for the program. We should have attended it. Good job. Bole Sonehal. See your namesake.
कोई रह गया बच्चा? आदर
Yashraj.
विश्वास
Yashraj Singh.
I want to put
अमन
it
मैं
on.
Bole Sonehal.
Like that.
बस कोई बच्चा रह गया और कोई किसकी चीज़ टेकिंग की थी और जिसमें
Regular attendance ਸੀਗੀ। So ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ 5 ਹਫ਼ਤੇ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਰੈਗੂਲਰ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੈਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ਸ ਦੇਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ। So we can start with Manmeet Singh.
We sare together. We can take a group photo.
Yeah, we'll take it afterwards. Yeah. So cash prize ਹੈਗਾ।
Thank you. Good job.
Hasrat Veer Singh.
Let's stay here for the group photo.
Hasrat Veer
Hasrat Veer Singh.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਅੱਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਪਾਏ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈ ਲੈਣ ਆਪਣੇ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ਸ ਸਰਟੀਫਿਕੇਟ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਟੰਬਲਰਸ ਹੈਗੇ ਇਹ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਕੈਸ਼ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ਸ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਰੈਗੂਲਰ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਰੈਗੂਲਰ ਅਟੈਂਡੈਂਸ ਹੋਏ ਕੋਈ ਐਬਸੈਂਸ ਨਾ ਹੋਏ ਸੋ that was the reason to motivate by giving cash prizes so that people learn ਬੱਚੇ ਲਰਨ ਕਰਨ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਪਰਫਾਰਮੈਂਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਪਰਫਾਰਮੈਂਸ ਅੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਦੇਣ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਅਗਲੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆਪਣਾ यशराज सिंह बराड़ गुरमन कौर हरनूर कौर नहीं है गुररीत कौर अनहद कौर
नहीं कप चाहिए
ओके क्वाइट हो जाओ
नहीं कप
We'll take a group photo.
कोई बच्चा रह गया नहीं that's okay
Raveen, Manarpit,
yeah
for a full group photo. Yeah, we'll all come up
so
for
we can
group
go for a
photo.
group photo एक संडे में नहीं फिर आज छुट्टी हो गई सी अबे ने छुट्टी की थी सिक हो गई थी ਅਗੇਨ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂਆਤ 'ਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਇਹ ਉਪਰਾਲੇ ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਮਿਲੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਲੇਟਫਾਰਮ ਮਿਲੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੋਟੀਵੇਸ਼ਨ ਮਿਲੇ। ਤੇ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਕਰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਪ੍ਰਭਜੋਤ ਦੀਦੀ ਦਾ, ਗਗਨ ਭਾਜੀ ਦਾ to organize such events. It's not possible without volunteers. I cannot be doing anything and everything, and I have to delegate.
Okay.
And they are really good at what they are doing.
Okay, I can sit with you guys. Yeah. Okay. You all in? Okay. Are you all in?